Hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for entertaining all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. And of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squad Squad, Kaliko Yax.
Well, usually it is the leader, but it's Corporal Squash Squad leader today because it is Veterans Day weekend, and of course Marines double dip. So happy birthday to all my Marines, 248 years. Rah, rah, rah. Rah.
And happy Veterans Day to all the other vets out there. You keep our pets safe, and that means the world to us. And of course, the American Scooter Dust, who is not here this week. But it is still a great day for wrestling, or wrestling wit, I should say. As we interviewed, who did we interview? Alan Compass and Nakoma Tower. Two incredible interviews. Alan, incredible individual, great conversation, and Nakoma killing it on the independents in the New England area. Can't recommend those interviews enough. This upcoming Tuesday we have Jay Bricks. Also around the New England area, we talk the Forum, um, losing a member of the Forum, possibly bringing him back, the potential of a new member, his relationship with the other members, and the colossal question gets blown to a new proportion when Jay Bricks makes his movie Him versus Zombies. So we have that, the Baccaroni, and almost kidnapping somebody, kind of, sorta. So yeah, there's a lot to cover in that interview, and you can listen to it this Tuesday. This upcoming Wednesday, we have Sean Martins from Canada. We talk about that meeting Owen Hart, um, a Canadian wrestling elite, some big matches he's had, and a hell of a lot more. But don't take my word for it. Here's some bits now. Can you tell us about your love of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Underground?
How do you know this? This is the first Dog Wars moment that I've had. How do you know that I love Tony Hawk? That's my favorite game of all time. Like Tony Hawk Underground, it is honestly like I could put that to any game. Like you could not beat that game. That is like the best. I mean, you could beat that game, but you could not beat the number one status on that game. That you just creep me out. Cause how the fuck do you know that? Like that is the best game ever, 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 ever. Like, oh yeah, holy shit, that was out of left field. Congrats.
Yes, we do our research here.
That is a deep track.
Yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, my music taste is based off all the Tony Hawk games. Like it's just, yeah, that's a good question. Holy shit.
Um, you know, a lot of our guests on the show, they will credit Owen Hart for, inspiration, why they got into pro wrestling, how they wrestle now because of Owen Hart. You
Sure,
actually met Owen Hart. What
I
was
have. Yep.
what was that experience like?
It was pretty surreal. It was a really quick and passing thing. So I met Owen Hart at a Calgary wrestling tournament, like an amateur wrestling tournament, when I was, I think, in grade 9 or something like that, and just starting high school, just starting wrestling. And being a professional wrestler was something that I've wanted my entire life. So when you meet somebody that's doing it, what else are you going to do but ask them how you can do it?
Right.
And Owen's suggestion to me was to keep wrestling and to learn judo.
Hmm. Interesting.
And that's what I did. And I went on and became a brown belt in Kodokan Judo and became a professional wrestler. And all roads lead to here. So,
And on this upcoming on the 22nd, the 21st, I should say, we have Bovey, and on the 22nd, Marie Valdomina. All right. I believe we're done putting ourselves over. So it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And a big interesting thing that happened this week in the news was that NXT will be going to the CW network. What are your thoughts on the shift between USA to CW, Pluto?
Uh, I mean, I guess they're going back to their roots because remember SmackDown used to be on Fox/CW, so it's crazy how that works. I, the only reason I won't poo-poo this move is because it's going to a television channel that everyone has in their house, right?
Right,
Like, as much as it's crazy that we think USA is considered cable, but yes, it is considered cable. It's considered cable, and a lot of people do have cable, but not everyone uses cable. Everyone uses streaming, and and sometimes streaming doesn't include certain channels.
right,
So that's the only reason I'm giving it like a benefit of the doubt because of the fact that it's going to a channel that everyone has, which is CW, because everyone has a local CW channel. Local is shit. So plus being on something that local on a channel in which I think CW used to have like Smallville and what was it?
the Arrow, the
That
Flash.
basketball. One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill.
Yeah, I believe that was on there.
Yeah, it was One Tree Hill. So yeah, One Tree Hill. Uh, I know CW used to be WB, which was like all the black shows was on that motherfucker. But 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 yes, it's a channel where everyone can kind of that and one everyone has it's easily accessible, and two, they'll probably be the biggest rated show on that goddamn channel hands down.
You know, you're not wrong about that. This could actually be a great move for NXT. Giving people that maybe aren't aware of pro wrestling or, Raw SmackDown, a little taste of what it is. Because they haven't been on, you know, the network like that for quite some time. I mean, yeah, Fox, but it seems like it's a great move on their part. And it might actually boost the ratings and the viewership as well. I think so. My question
I mean,
is it
yeah, go
going to,
ahead.
yeah, what was you going to say?
No, go ahead. Ask the question because I might be asking the same thing I'm asking. Go ahead.
Is it going to stay on Peacock?
It would have to. It would have to. Now that's where I wish they kept the goddamn network because they wouldn't have had that problem. And that was the thing. The network never really had a problem when NXT was on that thing because everyone that had the network was watching everything on it anyway.
Right,
So they kind of took something where they had like full control and easy access for people to splitting it up into three different ways, which to me was dumb. I mean, they made more money, but it was dumb. So That would have been the easiest path was to keep the network.
Right. Um, it is. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do with it because we'll get into another topic of that in a minute. But I do think that it's a beneficial for them. And that being said, it was supposed to be AEW actually. It was rumored that the CW was looking for a new wrestling show to be on their network, and they reached out to Tony Khan, and he was not interested. Does that seem like a missed opportunity on Tony Khan's part?
Um, yes, because you're trying to get because other than them having what AEW After Dark on YouTube, I think the only accessible thing that they have is TNT. And to me, TNT, it was a problem with TNT when they couldn't keep the viewership of the follow up because I remember they had the follow up when they came on right after Inside the NBA, which is probably the most popular television show on the planet uh, as far as sports and basketball, and they couldn't maintain a viewership there. So you would think that they would use something like the CW to get casuals who may not even glance it easier access to see it, right?
Right.
But either way, it's a win for CW because they're like, shit. I went for AEW and I got the best wrestling promotion in the world. Shit. As far as like making generate revenue, hell yeah, that's a win-win.
If it was only on CW a decade ago, we could have got the NXT Arrow crossover, or the Flash crossover, or the Supergirl crossover. I mean, who wouldn't see Gigi Dolan on the Flash and not think that she absolutely would fit in that role?
That is true. But I mean, CW in itself, it only had a handful of shows that kept it going, and even with those shows, it wasn't. It's not garnering 900,000 people like NXT could possibly do. And considering that it's going to be on a regular cable network, it has the chance to get even more.
I was gonna
I
say,
don't think it's I don't think it's going to get a million every week, but uh, high sixes to eights would beat any show that they ever had.
you I think it does have the potential to either go the million or and maybe maintain that number from week to week. Maybe obviously when other things come up, but I do think that it is going to help NXT get more eyes on them.
Yes, and that helps because when they go to the main roster, motherfuckers will know, oh, I know this motherfucker. And they will have to change names 13 times.
And like you said, it's coming at a great time where the CW doesn't necessarily have a lot of shows that are staples anymore. Like I said, Arrow was a big staple, no longer on there.
The Flash,
Supernatural, The Flash. Um,
Supergirl, for a hot minute. I remember they had Black Lightning. Yeah, CW was known for like a lot of great dramas, and then the DC part, and then they had the all black era with like uh, I can't think of like Wayans brothers. Dang, what was the other one? The Parkers, stuff like that. So yeah,
So going back to this could have possibly been AEW. Like I like I said, it's a missed opportunity by him, by Tony. Is his blind loyalty to the Warner Brothers a crutch at this point for Tony?
no, I mean it could be the case of and I'll give it an example, right? It could be the example of Ja Rule and Ludacris. Now here's what you're gonna follow me on this, right? Just follow me.
Okay,
Ja Rule had the initial role uh, in Fast and the Furious for Ludacris's character. He was supposed to have been that character through all 8 movies. But at that time, Ja Rule felt too big for the role. So he turned it down on the second one. In pops Ludacris, Ludacris takes over, and the rest is history. That could be one of these moments.
okay, that's a that's a great analogy.
And that's where I think Tony Khan is jacked up because I don't think it's a blind loyalty. I think it's a more of a we're too big for the CW. If that makes sense.
How does that make sense? Because they're not doing great numbers. They're failing to draw people into the stadiums. From what I've heard online, not just Jim Cornette, people are saying that they have lost a lot of money. The only thing that's financially keeping AEW afloat is Tony Khan and his dad.
I, but it's like it's the thing where it's like you become the person you hate, and that's where he is right now.
Well, it's definitely going. I think it's going to be a. It was a bad move by AEW if it's true.
It is a
Um,
bad move. It's a bad move on their part because what's the difference between them moving Collision to CW? So they're not dealing with cable television.
that's an interesting concept. Um, would Collision be more successful if it was on CW?
It had nowhere to go up with goddamn. It has nowhere to go up now because since Punk left, it's in went to shit. Whoever thought that would happen?
Well, speaking of the Punko, apparently rumor and innuendo suggests he's going to be a part of all the companies. Um, there's a rumor that he's going to be part of New Japan, which doesn't sound too bad. There's never not a rumor that he's going to be a part of WWE. And then I found this one very interesting. There's a rumor that he's coming back to AEW, and that he is actually the devil character attacking people backstage. Thoughts?
Mm, I don't believe that part. I don't believe the AEW part. I do remember they were talking about him going to what's that? Impact.
Yeah.
I don't see that. WWE. honestly, there's really nowhere for him to go because he's burned a lot of goddamn bridges. So you're like, where the fuck is he gonna go? Who the fuck is gonna be like, yeah, we'll take a flyer out on this guy?
I think WWE would do it. I still think that they would do it. If not for any
Would do it
reason
to give
to
a.
say,
They would do it for a big fuck you, but the problem is that they got so much story shit going on. Where the fuck would he fit in?
you know, the one thing that I thought about, because there's a lot of things they can do with him, but the one thing I thought that he would maybe like to do was be John Cena's last match at a WrestleMania. Be
No.
and then maybe, a Hall of Fame for Punk and go into the
Hall
sunset.
of Fame? What?
Hey, it's an idea. It's not like,
Hall
he
of
has.
Fame? Hall of Fame? Don't get me wrong. I like CM Punk just as much as, you know, I mean, as much as I hate him now, still okay. But Hall of Fame? Nah. I mean,
We
at
have,
best a good, what, 2, 3 years?
first and foremost, we have Bruno Sammartino and the Ultimate Warrior in the Hall of Fame. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And you
Bruno
could,
San Martino and the Ultimate Warrior are way more integral to WWE than Punk.
true, but it's, again, it would be something that would be him that would possibly interest him in coming back, and for
He ain't coming back.
WWE to say, no, 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 we got him.
No, he ain't coming back unless he's main event WrestleMania, which means he's fighting Roman Reigns, which means he's going to be in the middle of Jey Uso shit. And that's what you don't want. Or Cody, whichever one chooses to go after.
Right. You could do it before WrestleMania, but if they just drop Punk in the middle of all that, it's going to cause issues with the fans. Well, the WWE fans, I mean.
Yes.
I mean, you could. If he went to Impact, like we know, he's winning the Impact Championship. That's literally in the contract. He's legally obligated to do it. Uh,
I feel like that's every ex WWE.
yeah. Um, New Japan. Where do you fit New Japan?
Nowhere. Because what faction would he join? Because they got gangs. And he's not the gang guy.
Would he? Would he need to be a part of the gang?
You don't think anybody would be trying to recruit someone of CM Punk's stature?
Well, yeah, but
Let you tell it he's a Hall of Famer, so who the fuck wouldn't be trying to get his ass?
well, are you saying that he's not a Hall of Famer?
A W Hall of Famer?
He was champion for over a year. He beat pretty much everybody they had to offer at that time. He won the Money in the Bank twice.
Two-time Money in the Bank winner, Intercontinental Champion. What, two-time?
Okay.
Champion. Tag Champion. WWE, two-time WWE Champion. Oh. Nah. I mean, if it is, it's the bareliest of all barelies.
Oh,
You have to give me someone who's in the Hall of Fame that is done less than Punk.
Well, somebody that has done more than CM Punk is a one Vince Kennedy McMahon. Um,
No, less,
it's called a segue. Calico.
less, sir. LESS. Segue. But you didn't give me that name, motherfucker.
Somebody that's done less than CM Punk. Kofi Kingston.
It made the longest reigning tag champion, most tag team champion, most days as tag champion, Intercontinental champion, WWE champion, Grand Slam.
But he's never won Money in the Bank.
CM Punk never won the title at WrestleMania.
True. Like Xavier Woods.
That's all. The only titles he know is tag, the King of the Ring. But he's going in as a faction, not as an individual.
It's kind of sad on the part of Big E and Kofi that they don't get their own induction.
Yeah, see, two tag champs. I mean, he's there. Okay, he's there, but I don't like at best his brightest moment. Like his longest was roughly 2 years. Is that enough?
Punk?
Yes.
What are you talking about? That was from 2009 to 2013.
2009, he was a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably top heel. AJ Styles has that same accolade, and I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Minus Money in the Bank.
It could still happen.
But that's my point. He's done more. He's done that same accolade in half the time.
Hmm. Well, a little bit of WWE news. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has sold around $8 billion in stock. Um, I'm not the most educated person on this topic, but it does seem like they're trying to push Vince McMahon out of his own creation at this point. No, Coleco? No, you back?
So, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't believe I caught what you said.
I said he's
Wow,
trading ring.
it looked like we're not the exact same moment.
God dang it. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
There you go. I said either he's the smartest man or there was a goddamn trading ring going down. One or
Um,
the other.
I mean, do you feel like he got blindsided because essentially he sold WWE so he could have more control in WWE, if that makes sense. And now,
No, he sold WWE so he could have more say in the sense of generating revenue. But he's on some succession shit. This motherfucker got kicked out for taking money, then went and sold that bitch, came back, sold that bitch, and now he taking over that bitch as another company. But the problem is the other company ain't gonna take that shit.
right,
So that's the biggest issue. So you have that elephant in the room, if you will.
Do yeah.
But I mean, maybe he's just trying to keep up, get some more capital, or is insider trading? I don't, because no one's going to be like, you must sell your shares. You know what I'm saying? That's an individual choice.
Right. I mean, it's a
So
lot of stock.
either he got some info that we don't know, which to me it seems more in that realm. Because people always sell stocks. I mean, Vince, Triple H sold stocks, Stephanie sold stocks.
So you think we shouldn't read into it that much?
Uh, I wouldn't, because it's unless the Federal Trading Commission comes down on his ass, then we could come. That's what
Well,
I say.
maybe a missed opportunity to some degree, but Gunther, the current Intercontinental Champion, um, will not be taking part in any of the PLEs that are overseas for quite some time. Um, he's becoming an American citizen because obviously he lives here. WWE. And they said apparently there's a 6 month freeze on his visa that he can't leave the country. Um, while WWE is doing shows in Saudi Arabia, Australia, Germany, and a couple other places. Is this a missed opportunity to say the least, or can it be beneficial in a way, or how do you feel about Gunther missing literally every mostly all of the pay-per-views?
I mean, unless they try to work something to get his visa popped off. I mean, who's to say that's not happening behind the scenes?
Well, I mean,
So I'm
do you need Gunther at the PLEs? I would imagine you would want him for the German one, right?
hell yeah, you better want him for Germany. I would think. I think any PLE that's overseas, Roman's working it. Any Big Four, Roman's working it. So I don't. I'm trying to think. When was the last overseas PLE that Roman didn't work?
Good question.
Because that's the thing. He's going to be the money maker against whoever. So
And that's probably going
I
to be
mean,
enough to attract the crowd.
right? Because Crown Jewel didn't have Gunther.
Right.
They probably could have used Gunther, but but it was a good pay per view. But it would have been a little better Gunther with some action there.
Well, right now it seems the projection for Gunther right now is a one-on-one Intercontinental Championship match against Chad Gable. Um, agree or disagree?
It seems that way. Um, my question is, he's gonna hold the belt longer. I, to me, it's either one of two things. Either he's beating Gable and maintaining, or he's going to be the world heavyweight champion.
Well, I mean, he already beat Gable once, and it seems like the route they're going is Gable getting back to the title. And it seems like the best possible way to do that is, a Mania match.
Not really. Royal Rumble, Tampa.
I guess you could do it at the Rumble, but then
You
what's
can do
M-
it at the Rumble.
then
He
what?
got no fucked up visa for Tampa.
True. It seemed like it was going to happen at the last PLE that they were going with Gable and Gunther, but they prolonged it.
Or they can put it on Raw. Give Seth Rollins a break from defending the title every goddamn week.
True.
So that match is a match that can happen anytime. The only way you know that Gunther's not winning.
Well, speaking of titles, Samoa Joe dropped the TV title after defending it successfully against Keith Lee. He literally just said, "I'm going after MJF. I don't want this anymore." Um, is that a tell, telltale sign that Joe might be winning the AEW championship?
Uh, I don't know because I don't know where the fuck they're going with their story. God, to be quite honest, I'm dead ass because one week the Bucks are feuding, and then with Omega, and then next week they cool. MJF has got like 30,000 motherfuckers coming around him who wants to be his friend and rubbing his feet or whatever the fuck the case may be. I if that was the case, I get why they wouldn't have Keith Lee beat him to keep him strong. However, if anybody needed a title win, like for real, you know what I'm saying? Like, just did him dirty.
I mean, I
But
no shade at Keith Lee, but holding your D-list show secondary title isn't going to help him.
so the question, okay, so what better title he won? The NXT and holding both NXT championships simultaneously, or winning the ROH title? Right now, where he's at.
I mean, obviously, winning the NXT title as the other NXT champion was a bigger moment. I don't think. Who is the ROH champion?
That is it still Claudio?
No, didn't he lose it to Kingston?
Oh, it is Eddie Kingston. No shit. Yes, Eddie Kingston is the ROH champion.
And who is the NXT champion right now?
You say who's the NXT champion?
Yes.
Dragunov.
My my point exactly.
What's your point?
We could between the two of us, we could not remember Eddie Kingston was the champion, but right off the top of your head, you knew Dragunov was the champion,
Because he beat Mello.
and Kingston beat Claudio, and arguably a bigger platform.
Bullshit. Bull bullshit, sir.
That well, they have so many stadium shows in AEW. What's it called? What was it? Oh fuck, the Arthur Stadium show,
Oh,
and
the fucking tennis court shit.
yeah, and Dragunov beat Carmelo and what? Um,
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield. Oh, geez.
NXT PLE. That's how I.
The Bakersfield, the New York of California.
Bullshit. But I think Bakersfield is like, well, you know what? Bakersfield's like the armpit, but Bakersfield got some hoes. Don't get it twisted. Bakersfield got some hoes. Not a lot of ladies, but they got some hoes.
My point exactly.
But the fact that, yes, but I remember Dragunov more clearly, even though I know he won it in an arena, in an area that's less desirable than Arthur Ashe Stadium.
But we could still make the argument that Dragunov is featured more prominently on the show that he's actually is on than Eddie Kingston is, considering that he's on a paid subscription that nobody pays for. And when is the last time he's been on AEW TV?
Eddie Kingston,
What?
because he's working New Japan. He's got double duties with belts, sir. He's
What?
he's the never open weight champion, and he's just overtime right now, Mr. OT.
What are we talking about that we got on to Dragunov and Kingston?
Well, Keith Lee, no Samoa Joe dropping the
Right.
title. Does that mean with MJF? And yeah, that means. But does that mean he's gonna? That don't mean he's gonna beat MJF. Unless Samoa Joe does some shit like the only way I would think Samoa Joe could beat MJF and where people would be okay with it is if he does it the way you remember when Kevin Owens fought Sami Zayn for
Which
the
one?
title, the NXT title,
Yeah.
the first time,
Yes.
and he beat his ass so bad that it wasn't even a pin involved.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see them being okay with MJF taking a pin, with losing the title.
Right. And the only reason I said MJF is gonna drop the belt to Joe is because if he why didn't he drop the title before the match in Orthodox Stadium when they first had their title match? It just don't make sense unless they don't want him holding two titles at the same time.
Oh, Joe, they got a gang of motherfuckers holding two titles at the same time in that shit. Different promotions, but same goddamn motherfuckers holding 88 titles and shit. Walking out like the Ultimo Dragon.
My point exactly.
Yeah, that ain't that new. MJF is walking around doing that shit. What are you talking about?
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense that Joe would just, oh yeah, I don't want this shit anymore.
But my suspicions are he's gonna have a match with MJF. He's gonna lose, and then he's going to win back the TV championship. That's what I feel is gonna happen.
Who, Joe?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he drop it? He would just keep it then. But then again, he would have to Ivan Drago MJF like Rocky Four, like damn near kill him in the ring, and he walks out on a stretcher. See, I'm giving y'all hints, AEW, to protect MJF.
I have no idea.
That's the point. It's my point exactly. AEW had no goddamn clue what's going on.
I
They give you a bag of Skittles and then you find out there's M&Ms in the bitch. Like what the fuck?
yes. Mr.
Uh,
Windy. Um. All right. I think that will conclude our news portion for tonight. And now what? Quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0 calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue energy, more focus, more win.
use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling's power struggle. It was last Saturday, I believe. Um, it wasn't the biggest show that they've ever done, but they did set up a couple of matches for Wrestle Kingdom, and for that
that's
fact, I
that's
think,
the goal.
yeah, that's the goal, and they succeeded in that. Uh, what was your thoughts on the show as a whole?
Uh, Honestly, that's always been the case. I mean, they always used to set up other matches because we already know what the main event's going to be.
Right.
It's going to be like 15 hours long, so go ahead and punch your clock in and get some overtime. It's going to be a long one, but but overall, overall, pretty good.
Well, there were a lot of matches, a lot of preview matches, which is completely fine. So, we'll just get into what feels more of the main matches on the card, which is match 5. Tangaloa lost to David Finlay in 12 minutes 33 seconds with an Into Oblivion. Um, it feels like they're trying to, build up Tangaloa and make him a single star, considering, his brother is already up there and's been established for so long. And I feel like this succeeded in what it was supposed to do. It made Finley look good. It made Tangaloa look good. Double win. What say you, Rico?
True, but I thought what's his face should have just knocked his ass the fuck out, just like pretty much put him on a stretcher because I thought it was gonna be Tamatonga and David Finlay at Wrestle Kingdom because that's been the beef the whole goddamn time. That's
Well,
literally been the beef the whole year.
they concluded their rivalry for now, and what happens at the end of the show really makes it clear where the direction is going.
That is true, but I just kind of, my assumption going in pre-match was that was going to be the case.
Right.
And New Japan said, honey, honey.
You know, when AEW does a swerve, it's why. And when New Japan does a swerve, it's like, oh, you got me. That was good.
Well, I will say, out of every wrestling promotion in the world, New Japan is the king of callbacks.
Oh yeah.
I they do it so good to where like, oh, you thought this bitch was over. Oh no, we coming back. They just going off and finding themselves. And that's the point, right? Like WWE take notes. You can lose a match, go and get better, and then come back and face the motherfucker.
Right.
Jesus. Like shit, you gotta fight him 38 times.
How many stars do you give this match?
It did what it was supposed to do, but two, because I give it two, because David Finley, him as Bullet Club leader ain't really killing it for me right now. Especially when you consider the greats that were before him.
Right. No, I get that. I I'll be a little nicer and give it 3 stars. Alright, and this is where the wheels fall off. Great Khan lost to John Moxley in 14 minutes and 10 seconds by
What? You don't say.
referee stoppage. It was a false count anywhere match in a New Japan arena show. Yeah, John Moxley just bringing the GCW shit show to some of the most quality pro wrestling out there today.
Well, duh. If it ain't Moxley fighting everywhere, then it ain't. Honestly, I personally, this is my personal belief. I think he's chasing the ghost of that. You remember that Anywhere Falls match that Moxley and Seth Rollins had
Yeah,
at SummerSlam? To me, that was probably among the greatest Anywhere Falls matches, point blank, period,
yeah.
ever. I still think he's kind of chasing the ghost of that.
Well, he didn't succeed.
Well, Great O'Connor, Seth Rollins.
That doesn't mean they couldn't have had a good match.
Well, true, but when this match was set up, did you really think Great O'Connor was just gonna pull an upset on an Anywhere Falls match?
I was just hoping for, a competitive one-on-one
No,
New Japan
no,
style match.
no, no, no,
Like,
no. Considering that Osprey is possibly on his way out the door, and Finley is the guy that no one really wants in that triple threat that's gonna happen.
right.
Moxley needs to look strong.
And he could look strong in just a strong style match against Great Khan.
Hey,
He's
maybe it's in his contract. He gets 15 Anywhere Brawl matches a year. Uh,
he's using this shit as a crutch, and it's getting boring. And I really just I don't like watching him wrestle anymore.
really?
Yeah,
Is that bad?
it's not that. It's so predictable.
Nah.
It's so niche. It's so
Well,
You
it's
know
his
what's
niche.
huh?
It's his niche.
Okay, but like even deathmatch wrestlers have regular matches every now and again. You know, they know some people know how to use a wrist lock,
Well, he knows how to use a wristwatch.
and I am so sick of him bleeding.
uh, if he ain't bleeding, he ain't living, sir.
If he bleeds anymore, he's gonna die.
I mean, maybe he's trying to promote the Red Cross or something. Donate blood. I don't know. Shit. Fuck. Fuck. I know.
If he donated all the blood that he's bled in the last like 2-3 years from the matches that he's had, we would not need blood transfusions in the world anymore. He would
Well, it
have
depends
killed
on his
them.
blood type. If he's AB, then all the ABs would be happy for the rest of their lives. Oh, positive. That's usually like the common one. But AB is the one that they really.
How many stars do you give this?
It's a squash match too.
This is the highest compliment I can give this match. -5 stars.
Jesus Christ! How you give a compliment with a negative?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Never open
Oh
weight
Lord.
6-man tag team championship match. Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Zack Sabre Jr., Shane Hayes, and Mikey Nichols in 16 minutes 15 seconds. Necklock Okada Tanahashi successfully retained.
Mhm.
Good match. Sets up Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. again. Why we want to see
50
this
50
match?
50 50.
Yep,
I told you 50 50. Good old 50 50. He's like, I'll take this pin, but bitch, I'm getting mine. I'm telling you.
at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep. 50 50, ho.
I love the fact that Okada is the 6-man champion, and you could clearly see the misery on his face that he has to be there during that type of match.
I mean, hey man, until they figure out what the fuck's going on with the top, you gotta eat it.
Well, he did get
You got
a video message from Brian Danielson challenging him at Wrestle Kingdom, so his ticket is stamped for the Kingdom.
Yeah, and that's a given because Okada out here. I guess Okada people giving Okada this he hurts people thing, but I mean he's probably one of the most safe technical wrestlers on this planet.
Right.
So yeah,
It's just super
there's
bizarre.
that.
Like he's more or less safe with everybody else, and Brian just can't seem to get out unscathed against Okada. It's weird.
Well, let's hope this time the eighth time's the charm.
Right.
But that means WWE looking at Dave Bronson like, bitch, we what the fuck we tried to tell you, son?
How many stars you give this?
It's a lot of twos because everything happened the way I thought it was gonna happen. Zack Sabre, 50-50. Like, oh, I'll take this pin now and get my shit back at Kingdom, homie.
Yeah, I'll give it 2.5. Next match, Super Junior Tag League Final. Um, Catch 2 over 2 defeated Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. House of Pancakes. I mean, torture. I called this one. Um,
Yes, you did. Look at you. Gloat. No need to gloat, sir.
it was a good match. Did what it needed to do. The right guys won. And the match is already set up for Wrestle Kingdom. So all around, it did what it needed to do.
It did what it needed to do. 3 stars.
And we will agree on that. Um, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Hiromu Takahashi defeated Taichi Ishimori in 20 minutes and 38 seconds. With the nameless Hiromu Roll Part 2. Seems like it was just a roll up, but apparently it has a name.
Apparently it does. I caught this one.
Yes, you did. And you're gloating about it.
Oh yeah, damn. You know what? It did what it needed to do, and Hiromu is going to be the show stealer once again at Wrestle Kingdom.
I just hope this time around when he wrestles Desperado, um, they give them time. They give them time to have a good match. I think the last time they wrestled at the Kingdom, they only got 14 minutes when their epic Budokan match was over 30. Um, so basically half the time, even more. So I think that if they give them the time at Wrestle Kingdom, it could be the match of the night.
Well, Wrestle Kingdom's 1 night and 50,000 hours. They ain't got nothing but time.
This is correct. Um, I give this 3 stars.
Uh, I agree. It's about 3 stars.
Next match, IWGP US in parentheses UK Heavyweight Championship match. Soto Uno lost to Will Ospreay in 40 minutes 16 seconds. Um, with a Stormbreaker. Just like the match with Finley and Tangaloa, this was to make a star. Will Ospreay made a star in Soto Uno. Um, Great match. Really showcased Soda, and it was what it needed to be. What say you, Kalisa? Kalika?
Yep.
Osprey and Soda Uno. Thoughts?
Did what it's supposed to do.
And then obviously after the match, John Moxley came down while Osprey challenged him. And then slightly out of nowhere, David Finley came in with Gallagher's a hammer and destroyed both titles. Comically. Interesting way to make a triple threat at Wrestle Kingdom. And I I don't necessarily know if this was the match people necessarily wanted to see at Wrestle Kingdom, but it's definitely the match we're getting.
It's essentially Becky, Ronda, and then they threw Charlotte in it.
But Charlotte's gonna win
For,
the championship this time.
you think Philly's gonna win?
That's what I said.
No, no, they're not WWE where the outsider wins the title, the one no one thinks about. It's going to Moxley.
I don't know about that. And Finley is there.
It's, you say what?
Osprey's leaving. Finley is
Osprey's leaving.
Finley is there, and Moxley
Finley's there.
is AEW.
He's part timing though. You saw he had that belt for like 3 years and they didn't give a shit. Like return it one day, motherfucker. Like
I think the match was supposed to be Omega and Osprey 3, and obviously that's not going to happen for whatever reason. Um, I don't feel like there's really that much desire to see Osprey versus Moxley, especially in Moxley's current form. I mean, they could have had a great, one-on-one match, but that's not happening now. Not
what the
because of
falls
the
count anywhere for?
yeah, that would have not. No, that's not going to help anybody. But Shota Umno versus Will Ospreay. How many stars you give it?
Solid four. Solid four.
I agree with that. All right. The show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs in the middle because they had some good matches, but it was mainly just to get Wrestle Kingdom set up.
I agree. All right. Uh, now that'll conclude our coverage of Power Struggle New Japan, and we are wrestling with WWE Crown Jewel. It was also last Saturday. It took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the Akbar Abdul Arena. Attendance was 10,291. Um, how many seats is this? The capacity is 22,000, so they filled half of it. Still impressive, nonetheless. Um, and I mean, it was a WWE PLE. Um, it did what it needed to do. Maybe not the most newsworthy of them all, but um, successful nonetheless. What say you, Kaliko?
Yeah, it was one of those like it did what it needed to do, but it could have had more.
Right. The first match out, Seth freaking Rollins defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, 18 minutes 20 seconds. Immediately when this was the first match out, I knew Seth was winning the match.
Yeah, the opening match
That being said,
giveaway. Yeah,
it was still a quality, great match between these two guys, but I don't think anybody expected any less from, Drew or Seth, you know?
true, but you got to feel bad for Drew. He's not winning these big matches, leaving him to end up doing what he's got to do, son. Gonna be Malcolm X up in here, any means necessary.
Right. And I think we're getting there. We're not there quite yet, but Drew, but we're getting to where he needs to be, and this is probably going to be the tipping point. That being said, how many stars you give this one?
Open match a good 3.5.
I'll give it four. I think this was a solid four match. Um, Next match, Rhea Ripley defeated Nia Jax, Rachel Gonzalez, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. Fatal five way for the women's championship in 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Um, Good match, not a bad match. Didn't necessarily have too many memorable moments. Not The last moment was a little sticky, I would say. Um, but still enjoyable. What say you, Kalika?
Yeah, I mean, another match to do. Not a lot of moments. Nia didn't take the pin, so there's that. And then Rhea retains. So beats the odds.
How many stars you give this one?
2.5.
I think that's a fair number. I give it 2.5 too. Alright, Solo Sikoa defeated John Cena in 16 minutes and 10 seconds. Um, I will say this match was 16 minutes too long. Um, just I don't want to see 2010 John Cena anymore. I I see what they tried to do. Give Solo a big win against a big name. Will it do anything that has been yet to be seen? But I mean, because it did wonders for Austin Theory, right?
Yeah, it did. He held that title out for like 3 more months.
This didn't do what it needed to do for me personally. But what say you?
I mean, my kid was pissed when Cena lost because I thought he was winning.
Right.
So, hey, it's shock value. But when but when Solo lost, I was like, oh man, Roman, he might lose.
How many stars
But
you
we
give
know
this
that was it. Wasn't Cena's best outing? 2.
one? I'll be nice and give it two. Alright.
It was a 2 match. It was 2 match.
Now we got Logan Paul defeating Rey Mysterio to win the United States Championship in 17 minutes and 55 seconds. Um, Considering what both guys are actually capable of, this was honestly a big letdown in my eyes. It could have been so much better, and it just wasn't. It was somewhat mid, honestly. But that's my opinion. But what say you?
I mean, it was it was good. It was a good match. Logan Paul saved Rey Mysterio's life. Who would have knew he was a lifesaver?
I
Right?
I don't remember that part.
Oh, so yeah, it's been all over. So Rey Mysterio move, and he tried to do hit a move, and he damn near fucking it went bad because he could step up or he was supposed to jump higher, kind of like a backflip move, and Logan caught him and saved his life.
Hmm. Okay.
He he's been all over Twitter for that one. But we called it. We called the right person was going to win.
Yeah.
But I want to say this was probably the most awkward sportsmanship exchange ever, ever. Because do you recall after the match when Logan won using brass knuckles? he he go he goes to Ray. To it goes, Ray, you're a legend. You're a legend. And Rey Mysterio just goes, you know what you did? Was not having any of that shit, which was like the awkwardest thing ever. He cheated to win and then walked right over to him and was like, yeah, you're a legend. I respect you. I just had to take the title. And Rey Mysterio, you just see him in the corner. And it's not like they didn't like. It was hot like, you know what you did? Funniest shit ever.
How many stars you give this
And
one?
uh, a good 3.5 because Logan did his thing and the right person won,
It did
and he
not.
saved Rey Mysterio's life. So there you go.
It did not meet my expectations, so I'll give it three.
Ugh, got too much expectation. Hey, calm down your expectations, mijo.
We got the excuse me, WWE Women's Championship match. Um, we got Io Sky, and on that farm there was a Dakota Kai, and a barely there, and a barely there, barely everywhere, barely. She defeated Bianca Belair by pinfall in 16 minutes and 35 seconds. And we had the occurrence of Kyrie Sane. She's a pirate. She looked more like a motorcyclist.
More emo-ish.
Hmm, an emo motorcyclist.
An emo motorcycle is who did the pirate, who did the pirate salute as she was on the top. That part.
This should have been a lot better than it actually. It should have been a lot better, but the crowd didn't really seem into it. Um, so yeah, that definitely tampered my enjoyment of the match somewhat, seeing how good the crowd
Well,
was.
where do you think they were? Where do you think they were, sir?
I know, but I mean that match was
Read the room.
that match was on fire in Puerto Rico, and it literally you could hear crickets in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Puerto Rico ain't Jeddah, Tel Aviv. God damn it. There's a whole demographic that's looking like that demographic is like white women in the ring.
Yeah,
So there, so let's not act like that ain't the case.
what? I but that was my thoughts. What were your thoughts on the match?
Good match. The story was better, and Bailey's past came right into her ass, homie, big time. It came quick and swift like justice.
It came right in her ass.
It came on that ass. Yep.
How many stars you give this one?
Ah, match wise, 3.5. Storytelling, 4.
I'll give it three and a half. And then we got Cody Rhodes defeating Damian Priest in 11 minutes 5 seconds. Arguably one of the better matches on the card. The crowd was really hot
Next.
for Cody Rhodes, which is crazy because he's an American nightmare in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, the crowd was digging it, and he had a fire
Because the
match
crowd was
with,
like, no women in the ring.
and he had a fire match with Damien, and didn't go that long, and it was appreciated, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much told what it needed to tell.
How many stars you give this one?
Let's not go that far. 3. Because it just did what it needed to do, and the crowd was like, no women in the ring. Yay.
I'll give it 3.5. Um, And that brings us to the main event, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defeated LA Knight in 20 minutes and 5 seconds. Who was not expecting this to happen? But I mean, it did what it needed to do. It got LA Knight more over than he already was. That crowd was electric for him, and he had a good, decent match with, the champion, and it gave him some shine. What say you?
Yeah, it's kind of like when Austin had his first match against, for the title, and you knew he came up short, but you were like, eventually it's going to happen, right?
Right,
That's basically what it was. It was just a measuring stick. Can he handle it? And he handled it.
and
So,
he almost got the win. There was a few close calls, so I think it was handled pretty good.
oh yeah, he handled it pretty well.
Yeah. All right. How many stars do you give this one?
Uh, the crowd was hot, so I'll give it a 4. Just because it's Roman. Everybody's going to be into anything he does. But people are kind of pissed about him having the reign, but the question is, who's going to beat him?
Right. You gave it a 3. You said
A 4.
4, and I agree with that. 4.
Yeah, because the crowd was into it. He almost got the win. He didn't. He showed he can hang. What more do you want?
Exactly. All right. The show, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I give it a thumbs in the middle because it wasn't nothing like that stood out, except for that Logan Paul moment with to me, which was funny as hell. Uh, but, but yeah, thumbs in the middle.
I I agree. Thumbs in the middle.
Which is like crazy because this is the first one where it really wasn't like a hitter, right?
Right.
The first TLE where we went like, holy shit.
But it kind of felt like it started off strong with Seth and Drew, and then it just kind of it felt like the crowd like
Find out.
burnt out until Cody came out, which is they skipped over like 4 matches.
Well, 2 of them were women, so I could see them going with white women in the ring. So that there you go.
Right. So and like I said, the one match didn't really necessarily live up to the quality it could have been. So it's there was a lot of factors that could have been, but what it wasn't, and it just is what it is at this point.
Pretty much. It is what it is.
Right. All right. I think that will conclude our coverage of WWE Crown Jewel, and I'll conclude our coverage of this episode. Um, Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, get on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Pale and Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Jake Bricks. This Wednesday as we interview Sean Mormons. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with Eve on Twitter, Instagram, and Thread. For information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more, follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kalika?
I am Kalika. That's where you can find me.
And of course, Scooter Dust at Scooter Dust. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.